being down one game can be quite a lot to deal with, especially in a first of 3 scenario. But Don Diablo, he's riding a lot of momentum right here. All he has to do is win 2 more games, and he's going to be the champion of the day.
Well, the thing is, right, in this situation, I would normally say the crowd is getting bigger every minute. You know, there's this live crowd at Gamescom 2017. There's more people every single second coming to the stage, but I can't imagine stage fright is a problem for either of these two chaps.
Oh no, it's definitely not going to be the pressure of performing in front of a crowd. It's going to be playing in a competitive 1v1 scenario that will be a bit different to these guys.
Yeah, I get the impression they've done that once or twice.
You could say that.
Oh, are we starting? Oh, wait, it's checking. Ah, looks like yeah, Dom was able to get his own moves on the screen as well.
Now those low sweeps, Don Diablo really likes those low sweeps because you get a knockdown if the opponent doesn't block on their own wake up, then I mean they might get hit again. We know that he does like those sort of forward threes, those forward X's, those overhead punches as well. Haven't seen too many of them this time, but once again, we're very, very close.
You see the patience though, Dom really wants to sit and block these.
Once again, because it's individual hits that are trading back and forth, the health is consistently even.
We say even, we are almost neck and neck right now, but we can see that Robin's got a significant meter advantage.
Gets a sweep again, interrupting the Batarang. But no, the super, that's probably going to work out. Catches the sweep, and that's going to be round 1. Steve Aoki up 1 round.
That's the armor going to be absorbing that attack. This is probably going to do enough. Yes, it is indeed. Comfortably going to do enough damage to take away the first life bar. So now Don Diablo stuck down. It is Don Diablo playing Superman a second time. This is the character he put all of his practice into yesterday. Returns to the zone super, but it's going to get blocked easily by Steve Aoki.
That was quite a gamble. I mean, either Steve's going to press a button the second the round begins, or he's not. I think Don really just took that gamble and would try and catch him pressing the button. Didn't work out, but he took the round anyway. And now they're both super low on meter, but getting overwhelmed. Oh, forward X comes out. Big damage already.
Big overhead in the sweep. He's mixing it up. You've got the overhead of the forward X and the low of the sweep.
If you're not reacting to that forward X, that forward 3, you're going to eat huge damage on a launch.
Oh, he gets it! Look at the damage of that, though, because he's got his trait activated. He's doing that enhanced damage, doing so much more. And already has Steve back to the wall, but we can see Don is actually lower on life now. He has to be really careful not to eat too much of these projectiles on the way in. Oh, that's going to be enough.
There we go. That's going to be 1-1. That jumping heavy into low heavy. Nice little 2-piece combo, doing just enough damage for that one. There we go.
So let's go back to yesterday. We had a few hours to sit down with Don Diablo and really sort of, try and teach him a thing or two about the absolute basics of Injustice 2, right? How do you perform some of the attacks? What is your character power? What is different between each character and stuff like that, and really settled down on Superman and I think simplified it to a few eye lasers, utilizing your away X, your forward X to get those big damage hits in. So it's not really combo heavy, it's not really tricky, it's just absolutely taking it down to the bare bones and doing as much damage as you can with either individual hits or maybe one or twice.
But Don was doing a really good job of actually learning how to do the moves quickly. Normally when someone's sort of like new to a game or new to a fighting game, it can take people quite a long time to learn how to do special moves or combo strings. He picked them up within a couple of attempts, and the fact that he's already sort of pulling off some of these in this match scenario, which, like I said, playing in a real match scenario against 2 people when there's something on the line, that's something that you can't prepare for until you're in the match. But hang on, looks like we've got in for another change. Sub-Zero versus Superman. Again, looks like we're going to go back to the classic. This sounds like a timeout. Might be having a timeout right now once again.
Still though, if it's Steve on Sub-Zero, that means he's played 3 characters in just as many games, right? And that's kind of just showing the board that, yeah, I know how to play a few characters in this game, and Don Diablo's sticking to that Superman. So this could be a match of, is it better to specialize in one in this sort of situation, or just play the board and constantly have your opponent try and learn on the fly?
I think that's quite a talking point in Injustice 2 in general, though, isn't it? You have those players that stick with one character and go through with thick and thin, and then you've got those that specialize and have a team, both of which are working in a competitive setting these days. Well, I guess we'll find out what's going to work soon. So now we are 1 game apiece, so 2 more games for either of these players, and they will be walking away with the lead. And I think we might actually be starting this match immediately. Now, I think so. Sub-Zero, straight from Mortal Kombat X, has some very similar moves. He's got that classic ice clone back already. And again, Don with the offense, going in for Superman, straight for extra damage. Gets caught blocking lows, the overhead comes out.
Oh, there's the last hit. That string going to send Don sliding all the way on the other side of the screen, but manages to get up. Closing in that space again. Both players do have access to their character power. Oh, but there's the super. That's going to work.
Oh, no. The low poke recovers just in time. And I like the fact that both these players actually, when they see a super, they try and block. They're not trying to fight it. They're trying to save the damage.
They're not panicking. They see the starter with the super and realize, okay, I should probably try and block this. On the topic, there we go. The ice clone coming through. That signature Sub-Zero move being his character power in this game. Oh, and there's the trait popped. Probably going to waste that. Might have a few seconds left at the start of this round, but not much time at all.
Now they have the laser. Comes through, manages to pull it off. We were saying, learning those special moves, getting the timing down. He's doing it in a 1v1 scenario. Very impressive.
That Ice Ball is going to do a lot of damage on impact in this game. You see Don really trying to get these moves out of the neutral.
Building a lot of bar. When you take damage, you do build super meter in the game. And speaking of which, both players looking like they have a super ready.
Oh, that could go through the clone. Oh, Steve tried to jump, but it's going to get caught on the way up anyway. See Don smiling in his face. He's happy about that one.
The armor man, when you have that armored supers blowing through the clone, it's quite a classic way of getting around Sub-Zero's clone, but now he's got to watch out for that meter. Steve, he knows he has it ready.
And about this health that Don has, a super's probably going to kill here. He needs to block this. Is he going to get the block out? No, he tries to press a button. It's going to go straight through. The Sub-Zero super connects.
He just so happened to press a button at the magical time, and Steve's going to go up another game. It's 2-1 to Steve, and again, Sub-Zero pick working wonders, but I don't think we'll see Sub-Zero again.
I mean, I suppose it depends on what Steve wants to do, right? Because he's played a different character in every match so far. Is that the tactic he's going for? Does he have a whole team ready practice for this event? Because we know Steve's been putting a little bit of time in when possible. Obviously, both these guys very extremely busy. So when they can get time to play is almost a miracle, but here we are.
Well, one thing we cannot forget is Steve Aoki, the owner of Rogue, and Rogue themselves do sponsor players like Slayer, for example. They have some top Injustice 2 talent under their belt. It's a great representation so far.
Right, so now here's a choice. I think we've actually got Don going with Superman once again, so he's definitely sticking to his guns, and Wonder Woman on the side of Steve Aoki.
But Don's been going with Superman the whole time. I thought maybe if he was done in games, would we see him potentially change to Batman? Because Batman has so many different universal tools, and obviously Don Diablo, working with Batman in the past, he's a big fan of that character. Well, again, we're going to go for that very quick timeout, making sure Steve can check the moves, find out what he should be doing, and funny enough, actually, I think that this sort of move list check is helping him every single match.
It's just having that visual representation, right? If you're not sure what they are off by heart, that's what this feature is there for, so you can see what the moves are in the middle of a match. So you know what's going on there, so you haven't got to pause and constantly refer to move list. It's right there waiting, and now we can see Steve fully locked with all these attacks, ready to see what they do.
That's quite a lot. That's actually quite a lot saved, but now Don Diablo on the verge of being out of this show match. He has to win one more game to just tie things up 2-2. But with that first tip, he's off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, he's got that little bit of a bar advantage at the moment. At least one to work with, and there we go, there's the projectile. Also, the Joker's Playground, a stage that I know Don was practicing on yesterday. His interactables being unblockable seemed really good for the occasion.
He is a big fan of those unblockable interactables on the stage, and I think that might be one of the reasons that we're on it right now. Catches the low sweep again, but wow, the wake-up attack.
Almost dead even on life a bit, but I think Steve ever so slightly edging off ahead. That sweep coming through again. You see Don really going to that when it's point blank just to try and get that knockdown situation, just do as much damage as he can. But there we go. Is that going to jump over in time? Oh, he does!
Just at the right moment. The problem is now he's lost all of his super meter, and Steve with 4 bars locked and loaded. Cannot get hit once.
So Steve with a rush down, there we go, but already seeing Don has himself a bar of meter, but this is now going to be match point for Steve Aoki. If he takes this life bar, he is going to be the winner today, and he's just sitting full screen. Look at him toying with Don Diablo right now.
Well, there's that character power, 1 of 5 random buffs, making Wonder Woman stronger in all different areas. Just depends on the one that you get.
That sweeping laser coming through. If Don can even out some of this life with these lasers, he might be able to even this life bar up. He's in the process of doing so. Steve with a parry attempt, but the sweep's going to go straight through it.
Actually, it was actually a really good attempt going for the wake-up parry, because if he went for one of those highs or those overheads, he would have got around it, but unfortunately not quite. Oh, wow, the wake-up button! Almost lost out to the 4-3, but not quite.
The sweep again coming through for Don Diablo. Putting a lot of bar, but Steve still sitting on 4 bars. I wonder if he's saving it for that final moment.
There's that block. Down on the sweep, but there you go. Nice grab, actually, knowing that Steve's going to be blocking.
Oh, going for the sweep again. Quite quickly, Don Diablo managing to take a bit of a life lead here, but Steve has all the meter in the world to even this out if he can. He's figured out the shield toss. That could be a problem.
Oh no, the barrel goes completely underneath. The wake-up sweep, I think Steve. They're going to collide. Who's going to win? Superman crushes the armor of Wonder Woman's. And wow, I mean, that might even take the game. Superman Super does a ton of damage.
It will be close at the very least, even if it doesn't win out right now. I mean, look at that. Barely any life left on the side of Steve Aoki. Oh, nice. But no, he's fighting back.
Hang on. Oh, the sweep trades it. It's 2-2. Final game.
But what will the final character choice be? Don Diablo very likely to stick with Superman a final time, but Steve, 4 matches, 4 characters. I mean, we can't even predict at this point. Do you think he'll go back to whoever he looked the most comfortable with, right? Out of all of his choices so far, I think Sub-Zero is probably the strongest.
But is he going to stick with his guns and go random all the way? Or is he going to go to his favorite character? Was Sub-Zero even his favorite character? Who knows?
I'm not sure, but we have one match left to find out. Don donning the shades just to get in the mood, get in the moment. One game away from winning this charity showdown.
I mean, when you're one game away from taking the whole thing, if you're both players in that situation, that's a lot of pressure. That's more pressure you were probably prepared for.
But I mean, speaking of pressure, look at this crowd. I mean, being these are two guys, I don't imagine they get stage fright, but that's a lot of people. Gamescom 2017, busy days here today. Here to watch these two legends go at it in Injustice 2. All in the name of good fun, all in the name of charity, which is, I think it ticks all the boxes, really.
What we've seen so far, it's been smiles all round, but will there be smiles all round when the final match happens? That's what I
There might be one less smile in the room, but we'll have to wait and see.
Or maybe quite a few. I want to say the crowd holding up those signs, cheering on their boys. Very excited to see what this final match entails.
I see Black Adam on the screen. I think it's going to be Superman versus Black Adam. And here's the classic move list check.
Right. So Black Adam versus Superman, the one element here is going to be in those up-close situations. The Black Adam trait that you can do nothing about. The guaranteed damage, those 3 orbs. Is that going to be the game ender here?
It might be, but Don Diablo has been doing a good job of just getting a lot of hits point blank. So obviously, if you are playing Black Adam and you have the orbs activated and you take a hit, the orbs will disappear. So if you don't manage to get in close enough before that happens, so the lightning hands, there's the black magic immediately. 2 special moves, 3 special moves coming out from Steve.
And he's got those projectiles on deck from full screen. That's going to be a great way to just check it. But wow, the lightning to sort of punish the sweep again. Don needs to find an answer, but the dive kicks are already connecting as well. I feel like Black Adam might be the final character here.
It might do. What a commanding life feed for Steve Aoki. This Black Adam pick looks very comfortable. All these specials coming out and a clean, full health bar going down. Can Don Diablo make the comeback?
He has to make 2 health bars all the way down, but that's going to connect. That's going to be a start, but that's just going to be half the life bar. Plenty of work left to go, but the super's a great way to begin this comeback.
He might be able to start the momentum that Don Diablo needs, but it's going to be difficult without any super bar. But he is Superman. If he's got that trait, that character power locked and loaded, he can do a ton of damage. But as I can say, that Steve already setting it back up to this lightning hands gameplay.
Steve is looking unbelievably solid with this Black Adam. Every single special move he wants to do, he can do it exactly when he wants at the right ranges. Tries to go for point blank shocker, gets it then. Here we go. Any damage here is going to be good damage before he potentially loses the round. Final round, both players. And, oh, this is so close.
This is a complete match point turnaround, though. Don Diablo managing to even up the health, but Steve Aoki, plenty of bar to work with. And that's the super. Is that going to work? Oh, it does!
Pressing a button. It's not going to take the round, but I mean, that's a huge chunk of damage. And now Don Diablo on the back foot once again.
This is how Don Diablo made his first life bar comeback, but Steve Aoki looking to do the exact same thing in return. 420 damage coming out.
Oh, making that black magic whiff with that forward advancing normal.
So much damage, these laser beams. Don Diablo getting a few of them out. He has our own super, but Steve Aoki very close. Is that going to connect? No, there's the block. Steve Aoki with the patience.
Hang on. Here comes a potential comeback. The sweep to punish. The forward 3. It crushes. So much damage. One more hit from Steve. Will take this, and he gets the jump in. Steve Aoki is the champion of this celebrity charity show match.
I mean, you know, commiserations, but credit where it's due. 3-2. Steve Aoki made it, but Don Diablo made him fight for it. That was our last life bar, 3-2, final match situation. So I think props are well deserved on both ends here. But you know, you can see these guys, good friends, all smiles here. It's all in the name of charity. And that was good fun.
Yeah, we'll make sure 100% give it up.